Top 10 Must-See Attractions in London. Attracting 27 million visitors every year, London is the most visited city in Europe. Whether you're an overseas visitor, day tripper, or tourist in your own hometown, you need to visit certain iconic London attractions. It's no surprise that London is at the top of so many people's travel plans. The museums, galleries, monuments, and parks are part of the city's fabric. To experience them is to let yourself in the culture and history of the capital. Welcome back to another episode of Travel Champ, the home of all things travel on YouTube. We're passionate about exploring mind-blowing and fascinating places worldwide and love to share our knowledge with you. Subscribe to the channel now so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads, and come join us on our journey. In this video, we will be looking at the top 10 must-see attractions in London. Let's begin with today's video. Number 10. Tower Bridge. The Tower Bridge is a combined bascule and suspension bridge in London over the River Thames. Its construction started in 1886 and took 8 years to build. The bridge consists of two towers tied together at the upper level using two horizontal walkways designed to withstand the forces of the suspended sections of the bridge. There's more to this ornate Victorian bridge than something cool to look at. You can also venture inside. Check out the engine rooms with their whirring wheels and pistons. Then head up to the glass-floored viewing platform above the bridges, where you can also learn more about the story behind the magnificent structure. Number 9. Trafalgar Square. When it comes to London's top attractions, Trafalgar Square can't be overlooked. Much more than just an open plaza, Trafalgar Square is one of the most famous city squares globally. It has become a social and political location for tourists and Londoners alike. The central monument within the square is a single tall column on which the figure of Nelson stands gazing over London, as the Trafalgar Square is the large city square that honors Lord Horatio Nelson's victory against Napoleon's navy at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. His monument is surrounded by 4 colossal lions and a series of large fountains. Number 8. A Thames Cruise. The Thames is England's longest river, leading into the North Sea at its end. The Thames is the lifeblood of London, bringing industry to the city for centuries. There are several companies in London offering cruises around the Thames. Cruises run as regularly as every 30 minutes from several key locations. Some cruises run at night, so you can see the sights all lit up, while others are served with a meal or afternoon tea. The cruises passed several key sightseeing locations, including Tower Bridge, the Houses of Parliament, and the London Eye. This is a lovely and unique way to view the city, traveling along the historic Thames. Number 7. St. Pauls Cathedral. Since its completion in the 17th century, St. Paul's Cathedral has been one of London's most recognizable sights. The majestic St. Paul's Cathedral is one of the world's largest and most notable cathedrals. From an architectural point of view, it's an absolute masterpiece, both inside and out. The iconic cathedral has witnessed many significant events in Britain's history, and the cathedral was heroically saved by firefighters when it was bombed during the Second World War. Its impressive dome was inspired by St. Peter's Basilica in Rome and rose 118 meters to the cross at its summit. It also included the state funeral of Sir Winston Churchill and the marriage of Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Number 6. British Museum. London is one of the best cities worldwide for culture, with a number of free museums to enjoy. On Exhibition Road in South Kensington, you can find many museums close together. Established in 1753, the British Museum in London is a museum of history and culture. Displaying one of the world's finest collections of antiques, the British Museum contains more than 13 million artifacts from the ancient world. It's hard to know where to begin with priceless objects from Assyria, Babylonia, China, Europe, and elsewhere. Favorite objects include the Rosetta Stone, the key to deciphering hieroglyphics, and the most extensive collection of mummies outside of Egypt. But most tourists head first for the museum's most famous exhibits: the controversial Elgin marbles from the Parthenon, the colossal bust of Ramses II, the Egyptian mummies, and the spectacular hoard of 4th century Roman silver, known as the Mildenhall treasure. Number 5. Tower of London. This medieval fortress is London's most visited landmark. It was better known as a dungeon and served as an armory, and today stands as a museum showing the magnificent crown jewels. The Tower of London is just the opposite of the London Eye, which is precisely what makes it so unique. Dating back almost 1,000 years, the Tower of London is one of the world's most famous fortresses and one of London's 4 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Famous prisoners who were sent to the tower include Sir Thomas More, King Henry VI, Anne Boleyn, and Catherine Howard, and Rudolf Hess. Today, the Tower of London is one of the most popular London tourist attractions. The top spot goes to the Tower of London, one of the world's most famous fortresses and home to the priceless Crown Jewels. Now home to the British Crown Jewels, the Tower of London was built by William the Conqueror in 1078. It served as a prison from 1100 to the mid-20th century. Built as a royal residence and prison nearly 1,000 years ago, there are some fascinating stories within its walls. Number 4. London Eye. A trip to London isn't complete without a visit to the iconic London Eye. Situated on the banks of the River Thames, the London Eye is an enormous 135-meter-high observation wheel carrying 32 exterior glass-walled capsules. It offers excellent, breathtaking views over central London. At night, the wheel is lit up in seasonal colors and is the centerpiece of London's annual New Year's fireworks. It is the most popular paid tourist attraction in the United Kingdom, visited by over 3.5 million people annually. The wheel does not usually stop to take on passengers, as the rotation rate is slow enough to allow passengers to walk on and off the moving capsules at ground level. You can also share one of the spacious pods with other keen visitors, or splurge on a private pod for you and someone else. Team your visit to the Eye with a trip to the adjacent London Aquarium to see the aquatic creatures from around the world, including jellyfish, seahorses, and even crocodiles. Number 3. Westminster Abbey. A visit to this majestic church is an absolute must on any trip to London. Second on this list is one of London's most picturesque sightseeing spots, Westminster Abbey, the venue of the most famous wedding of 2011. Westminster Abbey is one of the world's most visited churches and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Westminster Abbey is a large, mainly Gothic church located just to the west of the Palace of Westminster. It is one of the most notable religious buildings in the United Kingdom. By tradition, the kings and queens of England are crowned and buried here. This is where the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II took place and the moving funeral service for Lady Diana. It was also where Prince William married Kate Middleton in 2011, and it's a popular tourist attraction for the spectacular chapels and 13th century cloisters that make it the finest example of early English architecture. Number 2. Buckingham Palace. A trip to London is incomplete without strolling through Green Park to catch a glimpse of Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace has been the official residence of the British monarchy since 1837. The palace serves as a residence for Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, and as a place for hosting state receptions. In addition, it accommodates the Queen's Gallery. Buckingham Palace is a place no tourist forgets to see. However, it is only open to the public in August and September, when the royal family is elsewhere on vacation. The forecourt of Buckingham Palace is used for changing of the guard, a major ceremony and tourist attraction. Between May and July, the guard changes each morning, and the rest of the year on alternate days. Since 1993, the palace's staterooms have been open to the public during August and September. Number 1. Big Ben. Nothing screams London more emphatically than the 3 of today's video, all about the top 10 must-see attractions in London. Which of the entries on today's list would you want to visit the most if you had the chance? Would you ever want to visit these historical sites? Get involved and let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this episode and found it interesting, subscribe to Travel Champ so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.